Okay, so we'll grab a new file here. Okay, and I just wanted to show you how we can add multiple strokes to one shape, okay, which can be quite useful. So, and then we'll look at how we can use dashed strokes to create some interesting effects too. So if I just draw out a circle here which has one single stroke, then if we come to the strokes panel, we can make that thicker. We can change the alignment of that stroke here, so we've got these options to align it inside, outside the line, or whatever, and then we can also go and change the color of that stroke. Okay, but we can also go to this appearance panel down here, and we can add more strokes than one stroke to the same shape. So if we click new stroke, we now have a second stroke on that shape. So if we increase the width of this a little bit, okay, we'll come to the strokes panel here and change the alignment, and then I'm going to come back to the stroke appearance here and just change the color. So now we have a pink stroke, we still have our green stroke, but they stack here like layers. So basically the pink stroke is above the green stroke, but now we swap them round. Okay, so we can basically keep adding strokes. So if we make this pink stroke a bit thicker and the green one a bit thicker, oops, too thick. Okay, then we can go ahead and add another stroke, align it the outside, make it a different color and a little thinner. Okay, and then we start to get these kind of rings of strokes added to that same shape. Okay, so it's basically one shape. If we duplicate it, it's still going to have all those strokes attached to it as well. Okay, some of these strokes that we add here we could make as dash strokes. So just going to make this a little smaller. Okay, so we can add multiple strokes, some of which can be dash strokes to the same shape. Okay, so you can get some interesting effects going on there. And then we can also make those strokes into shapes as well to then cut out different parts of the shapes. So if we take this shape for instance, okay, and then go to Object, Path, Outline Strokes, it's going to turn all those strokes now, you can see, into different shapes. So have to use this Expand Appearance option, and then it will eventually expand. We'll eventually be able to get hold of the individual objects. Okay, so now you can see we can grab the stroke from within the stroke. And if we grab those two shapes and use the Pathfinder tool, we can make a cog out of our stroke. So we get different kind of abilities to make different shapes with our strokes. Okay, so some of the more complex illustrations that you'll see won't be kind of really time-consumingly made. They'll just be thinking about how you can play with an effect to the point of getting the right thing. Okay, which is kind of one of the nice things about Illustrator, is things can look really complex and layered in their design, but actually they can be quite simple. And then we could outline that, and we could keep going. But the other example I wanted to show you was this example, which I kind of ran through last week for some people, which was if we just take one stroke and then make it into a dashed line. Okay, I'm going to do a simpler example than I did last week. We can outline that stroke. Okay, we can copy and paste that layer. Okay, so these are all shapes now, and I'm just going to expand that a little bit and take away the fill. Oops, I should have, hold on, I'm going to go back. I don't want the fill here, I just want the stroke. Okay, so we're going to outline that stroke, copy and paste it, and then just just enlarge it a little bit. And I just want it to overlap that other stroke a little bit. Let's copy it again. And then if we grab that, jump to the Pathfinder, then we can start to, you know, cut shapes in and out of one another in quite interesting ways. Okay, and we could obviously kind of keep going with that as well. All right. If we use the scale tool rather than the selection tool to scale things, it will scale it by default from the center, which can be useful sometimes if you want things to rotate or kind of scale around that point. Okay, so we could obviously join them together or cut them out with the Pathfinder. Okay.